I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we are going to be looking over your weekly forecast. I meant to do this yesterday, and I did the whole video yesterday, having a good time, vibing and all that jazz. I hope you guys enjoyed that video too. And then after I finished it and I exported it, I was like, I forgot to do the weekly forecast. So I'm doing it today. No worries. I pushed everything back a day. So as you can see, we've got 4 groups in front of us that you can choose from. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to give you a moment to pick the group that you resonate with most. Now that you've done that, you can go down to the description to your designated group and marked timestamp. But let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's look at your weekly forecast by looking at the cards. We've got Gentle Gardener upright. Your other oracle card is Raw Morganite. We've got the Star card in reverse, the World card in reverse, the Hermit upright, 10 of Cups upright, 6 of Swords in reverse, and 9 of Cups in reverse. Oh, and apologies if I come across as lower energy today. It was just one of those nights where I didn't get a lot of sleep, so I think it kind of comes through in my perception of myself in my voice. So apologies for that. I appreciate you showing up. So let's look at this. Ooh, this has 2 different meanings. I'm going to go over both so everybody is included. But this is so cute. This is a very hopeful week for you, which I'm happy to say. So let's first talk about Gentle Gardener, which is a fantastic mindset for the week. This is being aware that your thoughts create the world around you, and being aware of those thoughts in order to attract the reality you'd like, and to be conscious of if you're accidentally creating something negative, you can change it all by simply putting in some positive affirmations. A lot of people talk about how your mind can't tell the difference between a real memory and a made-up memory, and that includes like present tense, like things happening now. So if you tell it present tense, good things that you would like to have, but you imagine you have it now, your brain essentially helps work with the universe and your guides and makes it all possible. So what's so great about this, though, that I think is really cute, is it's coming off as gentle as the card implies. So it's not saying that this is the week, you better manifest and take advantage of this or else, It's a super sweet reminder of like, hey, this week, work on thinking things that you really want, contemplate them, put them out there, let them be something that you kind of work on throughout the day, but you don't put pressure on yourself. That gets expanded upon more when we look at the Raw Morganite. This crystal is incredibly gentle. It is all about sensitivity and in taking your time with yourself, and again, a gentle touch. It actually talks about the idea of being open to receiving kindness and gentleness. So think of this as something that works in tandem with one another. If you go out in the world and think that you deserve the best, and maybe you're a little, you've been through some stuff, or you've kind of been over contemplative is the word I want to go for here. You can just say, okay, I'm somebody who is learning to accept that I can have good things. It's a very kind of hesitant sort of vibe, but you're like, but I'm being open. I need time though. Give me a second to adjust. And then say to yourself, if somebody else approaches me with that same vibe, I'm open to it. So therefore you're putting out the opportunity to meet other people that can kind of help coax you along a more positive route. But more importantly, it's about surrounding yourself this week with people that can kind of cater to the mental state you're in. You need that hug, you need that extra support and affirmation, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the beautiful thing is, not only can you kind of go out in the world with a little more sensitivity and gentleness, but you can receive stuff in accordance to it. The last thing I wanted to say about this before I continue moving on with this spread and don't come across as too redundant is just that when you show yourself and prove to yourself certain things, it helps give you more confidence. Like a huge thing for me, this is just me speaking, was I learned you do not have to be perfectly happy to get everything you want. And when I was shown I was able to get everything I want when I wasn't in the best of moods, that took away the pressure from me to be perfect and think perfect all the time. This is you saying, if you're not completely ready, or you need a second, or you're kind of still coming out of a spot, that's okay. You can still attract a lot of good things your way, but here's a nice approach so it's a lot more comfortable for you. Over here, this kind of extends upon the same idea, but it just talks about a change of mindset, which I really love. This over here indicates you coming out of a time period of not believing in yourself enough, not being hopeful enough that you're on the right path, not being hopeful enough that everything's going to turn out okay, needing just some inner confidence, and that having a drastic shift and change as you go out into the world. And I do see you going out into the world. It feels like you've been having tunnel vision for too long, especially when we see the Hermit card. This is when you've just had too much time in one space with one thought, and then you kind of accidentally trick your mind into thinking that's all there is. This is all there is. And so it kind of puts you into a mindset where you start to become I find when people get tunnel vision, even if it's meant to be towards a positive, goal, it just always turns out it slowly becomes filled with doubt and becomes negative. I feel like we need that balance of not only the things we want to do and the things that we'd like to have happen in our life. And keep in mind, I'm not suggesting that this is you coming from a mindset of things that you want. I see this as more of a tunnel vision of not feeling good about yourself. So it's like if your mindset is only focused on that, you don't have the balance of other things in comparison to kind of pull you out and be like, what am I thinking? Or if I need a break from this type of thinking, I can think about something else. So the world card's helping you not only feel like you can truly be yourself with like utter confidence and start to realize like how far you've come, but it's this being able to look at all the things around you and go, oh, there's this thought I'm having now, there's this tree around me, there's this person who looks like they're going through their own thoughts, and being able to see that comparison widens your perspective and view on the world, and sometimes can be the very thing that switches you out of this mindset. So I do see you gaining a lot more confidence this week, but I do want to reiterate that this is not the type of confidence where it's like, yep, this is it, I'm a perfect human being, I'm done. It's just like you finally get a break from these type of thoughts. The Hermit card extends upon this idea, talking about going to the World card, same concept, coming out of that, cave, coming out of that tunnel vision. This is somebody who's taken the time, and this is a congratulation that even if you don't feel your best, that time period where you really had like you were looking over all your thoughts, asking yourself what you wanted, kind of questioning things, maybe not always happy with the responses you were getting because maybe your inner monologue wasn't the best at the time. It's saying that was still the right thing to do. You needed to put those things in front of you, observe them, analyze them, look at them. But now is the time to kind of let that go. We're not going to be analyzing that anymore. That you had a section of time with it. We're not going to do it too much now. You had the if you asked the question, why do I feel bad? And then you were forced to look at your thoughts and they weren't the nicest. Now you have your answer. You see what I'm saying? So it's coming out of a lack of confidence, coming out of being over analytical, and just kind of enjoying the sunshine with the physical world around you and opening your perspective towards the world, which is really beautiful. But over here, again, we have another confirmation with the Ten of Cups that ultimately in the end, we have this Ten of Cups is like the ultimate form of happiness. Often this pops up for me when I'm doing a relationship spread, and it implies just some great bonding, cuddle time and that kind of stuff. But ultimately, it's when you feel absolute best with, no shame. You're not overthinking it. You're just totally allowing yourself to be in it. And what a great place to be, right? But we have two different things going on that I want to talk about. In one perspective of it, this is Nine of Cups is, you getting the thing that you really wanted. You getting exactly what you want. So if you put out in this, throughout this week, and I'm seeing this heavily connected to things like synchronicity. So this would be like you going for a walk and saying to yourself, I'd like to see, a random thing, and then seeing it and feeling like you're connected to the universe and then coming across some maybe like, I don't know, like a pretty crystal or something. I'm just trying to think of random things right now. It's like having a really fun day as you wish for it, and feeling really excited that you're able to do that and enjoying the joy of these like gifts, these random gifts is what I keep being shown. But either way, this is like you getting what you want. I can see that you're leaving a mindset behind, and you're kind of actively choosing to say, okay, this isn't serving me anymore. I'm no longer going to be over contemplative or have these specific thoughts. I'm leaving them behind because this has inspired me, and then see you moving into that happiness. So we can see that how you exactly get to that happiness. It's like something is basically being shown to you or gifted to you. It's this form of like getting something that you want and feeling like overjoyed by it, and it helping motivate you get out of this mindset. Or the other one that I see is there could be someone around you, and remember, sometimes the universe throws things our ways, and the universe does not put stuff in our path to mess with us. A lot of people think that like that just happens, sometimes they want to do that. Sometimes these are small little moments that the universe is kind of testing you to give you an opportunity to become stronger. So again, it's not to mess with you. It's kind of like saying to yourself, man, I wish I was a happier person. And this is giving you an opportunity to say, well, here's something thrown in front of your face that isn't happy. If you want to be happy, what would be your decision? And your decision most likely will be like, oh, well, I don't want to be around that because I want to be happy. So the universe is going, okay, good. I'm glad we were able to help you connect to that idea. So in the future, you're able to practice that on your own. So when we have this over here, this is kind of like you coming across someone. It's not a really big deal. It's just, they kind of just keep finding a reason to complain. Nothing's really working for them. Every time you suggest a fun activity to do or you try to talk about something else, they just keep finding a reason to make it negative or something like that. Even though, and I do want to point this out, this is a confirmation that their life is actually going fine. They're just being overly pessimistic and finding a reason to be a complainer, you know what I mean? This is not implying this is mirroring your internal monologue, but it is something to be aware of, that for you, what feels like maybe a mental prison is you being shown like there is a choice. Again, you are not compared to this person. This is kind of almost like just a sort of an example being thrown in front of your face by the universe, so you can kind of almost interact with your inside, so to speak, in your inner monologue. And I can see you basically, I would give this suggestion, but you're going to do it on your own. You're going to be like, all right, that doesn't work for me anymore. Bye. I don't want to be around this anymore. And the interesting thing is, in this particular case, I do see you returning back to something kind of old school, but it's so funny. In many forms of tarot reading, they would suggest you to always progress and not go backwards. But in this case, when you get away from this person, it seems like you're going to be going back to something you're familiar with, and it does work, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And this is something that gives you comfort and was working before with you. And so it's kind of the key tool to you realizing, okay, well, I'm familiar with this. This works. Okay, cool. This, I move away from this. I do X, Y, and Z. I do X, Y, and I get Z, if that makes sense, to teach you to reconnect with better, I guess you could say, like habits, mindsets, activities. This is more going to be an activity-based thing that you're familiar with. But overall, the final thing I wanted to say, it's just going to be a really like happy, joyous week for you, coming out of kind of a stagnant time where it felt like this is how it was going to be for a while, and it's not anymore. So I'm excited for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving the video video, a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2, let's look at your weekly forecast by looking at the cards. We've got Rock Bottom in reverse. I don't know how to pronounce that. We have 7 of Pentacles in reverse, Queen of Cups in reverse, 8 of Cups in reverse, Knight of Cups in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse. Oh, and the World card in reverse. Oh, I'm speaking to somebody who's so lost right now. Oh, I feel for you. I do have good news. I have some awesome stuff to contemplate and think about this week, and stuff that's going to really help you pull you out of this. This could be a mindset. I'm going to be honest with you. This feels like physical, but the mindset is what's put you in this physical situation. As in, like, when you just feel like a lot of opportunities kind of aren't coming your way and that kind of stuff, or you just keep doing the same thing over and over again that isn't good for you, unhealthy habits and stuff like that, and you're just like, I just keep doing it over and over again to myself. I don't know why I keep doing this. I want to get out, but I don't know how to. So we're going to get into specifics, and I want you to keep an open mind, because none of these are cards to do anything to insult you or anything like that. It's meant to help you be aware of some things, to kind of like put it in front of you so you can put a label on it, and therefore do the opposite, or be mindful of it, or go, I don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? So I want to get into this because I think it's going to be really helpful for you. So our first indication is Rock Bottom in reverse. This is the type of card where basically it implies that you're at a point where you can't go any further and you can't make any excuses, and you have to face, why am I here? What do I keep doing over and over again that is not allowing me to move forward? Often this pops up when we have unhealthy habits. And remember, habits can take many different forms. It's not just what we, do to our body. It can do to our mind. It can be how we respond to people emotionally. It's like, how are we self-sabotaging ourselves in some sort of way? But either way, it implies like, this is it. This is your peak. The good news is it's not going to get any worse from here. But you have to, you've put yourself in this position on purpose, because in a weird way, you're subconsciously forcing yourself to finally face these things in order to best handle them, and then move forward and put yourself in a position you would be happier with. Now, the first step to that is over here with this crystal. This crystal represents when you need to be more like accountable, but this is not the lecturing kind of accountable. This is, you're not being like yelled at, keep in mind. No. This is about building an inner trust within yourself by being accountable. So this could be saying to yourself, if I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to make it happen. I can trust that I'm going to make it happen. But it's also about trusting yourself that if someone puts you in a position and you don't want to, you don't want to talk to them, you don't want to do that thing or whatever it is, when you say no in that moment, you stick to that. But it's about saying no in the moment. It's not about saying yes for now and then finding a way to change your opinion later. As you start to say no when you don't want to, be involved in something, or you tell yourself, hey, at the minimum, I'm going to wake up today, and you start to do that over time, that's how you build that inner trust in yourself. This is my first clue that there is a trust issue going on, and that could be the very key to why you keep going back to certain habits that put you in this sort of place, so to speak. We can get actually more specific over here. So the 7 of Pentacles just makes my heart, like over here, these 3 cards, it just makes my heart feel for you so badly. There has been a lot of effort on your part to change this. This is not somebody who's self-sabotaging and just letting, the universe take the wheel in kind of a negative way. This is somebody who's aware of their habits, has been trying like nobody's business, and is just heartbroken and feels almost like I'm getting emotional. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta ground myself. Okay, sorry. When I do this, I can get I can feel you coming through. When you're heartbroken and you feel like you're almost being betrayed by the universe because you're not getting back the results based on your effort. But we can actually get a little bit of a example of why that's not working out, so you can switch some things around and have it work to your advantage and feel like, oh wait, the universe wasn't against me, I just didn't know X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Because the universe always has your back. I want you to practice that as a mantra. Your life will change if you start to really cement that in your heart. So first, the Seven of Pentacles shows me that whatever you're doing right now, your method to either overcome this, or maybe you're feeling heartbroken because let's say you're working towards some goal and you keep working every day on this thing and creating something or whatever, and you're just not seeing a result in your audience. So there's two different examples for you there. Either way, whatever you're doing, it's just not going to work. This is not the method to choose. You need to try something else. Sometimes it just works like that. But this is the card that implies that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, well, that's the definition of crazy, so to speak. And in this regard, just consider, if you're like, well, what do I need to do? Anything else, consider doing the opposite. I find that's actually a really great way to replenish, when you feel stuck in life or stuck in the process. Do the opposite. But this is a comfort of knowing, or if you thought, I'm so sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied, I'm getting distracted, I keep looking up and seeing birds all over the place. All you need to know is take this as a comfort, that at least you have an answer of being like, oh, okay, what I'm doing isn't working. Okay, I'll just do something different. The second thing I see popping up is emotional instability and lack of balance. This is when you I find this pops up when you have what I like to lovingly call emotional ADD. This is when you're trying to actively, I'm going to just be really calm today, and then the next second you're like, no, I need to focus on my goals. Then the next second you're beating yourself up for having like an internal negative monologue. Whatever it is, it just seems like you can't quite hold still, so it's making you feel emotionally balanced, and you're kind of driving yourself a little, off the deep end with that type of thinking. Now keep in mind, this one's kind of a little bit harder to always answer because this could happen for a variety of reasons, but at least you can understand, like, yes, that's where my brain's going at. That's where I feel like I'm going with my emotions. I'm all over the place. Because emotional imbalance, to be clear, can be imbalance for like a variety of reasons, and this can get a little more specific so you can tackle it in the best way. So one hint we have here is that you need to pick one emotion and try to like stick to that the best you can, some sort of type of thinking with your emotion. If you're going to be calm and relaxed, if any sort of inspiration pops up, stop it. Stop doing that. Just pick the one thing and stick to it consistently. But we can actually get a little more detailed about that with this specific clue over here with the Eight of Cups in reverse. This talks about the reason why you feel like you're constantly jostled around is based on when we have an Eight of Cups in reverse situation, this is when we are striving to do better. Often this pops up when people are in spiritual journeys, but this could be any sort of sense of progression you're working towards, and you're always working on yourself, but you just feel like no matter how much you work on yourself, you're always in the same place. It's because in a weird, twisted fate of events, you're always working on yourself. You have a certain mindset that you're always in progress. So you're always in progress. You're always starting again. And you're never allowing yourself to get to that end goal. So this is what's causing your emotions to want to keep up and think that they need to keep restarting again themselves. So something to consider here is try to pick one path. Stick to it for a couple days this week. Stick to it for the whole week. Pick one concept, one idea you're going to embody this week. And no matter how much temptation there is, just stick to it emotionally, stick to it with your actions, and consider having the mindset that you already have that sense of being you want to be, or that place you want to be. Try not to make the in this particular case that you're in, try not to make those goals too big. Make them a little more attainable, but just be like, okay, I'm going to have a calm mindset, and I'm already there. So I don't need to worry about all the different things I have to do to make it happen. It's already happening. And kind of let the universe take the wheel a little bit. Maybe you're a little too involved. Sometimes, as some weird sick joke, that happens. It's like we're being told to be accountable, to work on ourselves, and then we do it too much, and then it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So it just happens. So do something different. Be a little consistent, pick one simple thing to strive for, and that will really help kind of even the playing field a lot. And then one last thing I want to discuss over here. So the Knight of Cups in reverse shows us that you've been emotionally blocked. We could say emotionally blocked, but and that's just to put it lightly, but it's like the general form of expression. It's letting other people see you be happy. You can think of it that way, simply. Either way, it seems like you're blocking yourself, or something specifically internally, on a subconscious level, is blocking yourself from going out there. We have two answers why that is. So if this is the World card and this is the destination, and this is you trying to get to the destination, and we have the confirmation that there's a blockage, so that's why you're not getting there. It was a metaphor. One of the blockages is right here in between it, the Page of Wands in reverse. You're being asked to this week look over, what is it that I truly am passionate about? Do I even like the things that I'm working on continuously and putting so much effort in? Maybe try not to pursue anything this week when it comes to, I know we talked about pursuing a mindset or whatever, but if you're working on any sort of project or your end goal is to be ultimately happy, just think of states of being you can embody, but not that being the end goal, and really allow yourself enough time to tune into yourself internally. And I'm not talking about your mind, I'm talking about your body. How does your body react when you think of certain subjects or ideas? What gets you pumped and gets your heart racing and is something that can help you feel a motivation to start something new and be excited about starting it and just kind of get you out of this blip, so to speak. Whatever it is, it seems like being confused is kind of like your internal monologue and subconscious saying, hey, you're not ready, so I'm going to stop you so you can eventually get ready in order to move forward. So in a weird way, it's like you're helping yourself, but when you don't know this, it's super confusing. And then the other thing is over here in the World card reverse. This shows somebody who feels they need a win, that the end goal is a reachable destination and they need a trophy for it. Again, this is not anything out of do with ego. This is the way our world has forced us to make us think that there is some sort of progression and end goal when in reality it's forever a journey. But this is something to keep in mind. Why do you think you're not worthy of that feeling now? Why can't you say to yourself, yep, I've got the trophy. I've got the end goal. I can make the win happen. I don't have to wait for somebody else to give it to me. In a weird way, this is something you should be mindful of, and you should strive to move away from the idea of an end goal and a destination. But I'm a big believer of, and the cards apparently are too, if you need that right now in order to overcome this mentality, then give it to yourself right now. Allow yourself to believe and embody and feel the idea of whatever that end goal is, whether it be happiness, success, money. Tell yourself you have $1 million in your bank account and sit there and resonate with it and allow yourself to have it. And ironically, with the way that the universe works in tandem to the way we think, then you'll have it. So it's like a win-win both ways. So be aware of what you're kind of striving for, what you think you need. Give it to yourself now. Think of what makes you passionate. Stop doing that thing you're doing. Do anything else. It's just unfortunately not working. Be aware of consistency in your emotions by just kind of like picking something and not allowing yourself to get ADD and think that there's more enticing options elsewhere. Just stick with it for a week. And be mindful that you're allowed to have the thing that you want right now. Stop thinking about everything being in a progression, or you'll always be in a progression. And be mindful of integrity with yourself this week. If you say you're going to do something, stick to it. Build that trust within yourself, and just know that you've kind of finally hit that peak. It's not going to get any worse. It's going to get better from here. So I'm wishing you the best. I care about this deeply, especially when I come across any of these type of souls. So I know things are going to get better for you. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I am sincerely wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3. Let's look at your weekly forecast by looking at the cards. We've got Field of Dreams Oracle card upright, Rose Quartz Oracle card upright, Ace of Pentacles, Temperance card in reverse, the Emperor upright, Six of Wands in reverse, the Hangman in reverse, and Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I'm really glad you showed up to this video. Okay, this is relatively important. Okay, so let's just talk about the name of the game first with the Field of Dreams and Rose Quartz. Both are so critical this week. Field of Dreams Oracle card pops up when you are like in the process of achieving your dreams, right? It doesn't mean you quite have them yet. It just implies that there is a lot waiting for you. So it's like a really positive omen. But this card pops up to say, okay, so now that you know that this like big positive thing is coming your way, you need to put in the active effort in order to continue to bring it towards you and work with the universe, work with the opportunities around you in order to make it happen. This is about being conscious of how you think. This is about being conscious of your actions, but not just conscious of your actions based on, and many times with the way like we just live life, we choose things and we're hoping it's the right decision just based on like what would be the best decision at work, what's the smartest way to achieve the problem or whatever like that. This is about saying when you choose something based on what it is and how you react to it is sort of like a metaphor saying, do I want opportunities to come in my life or do I not? And there's not one easy answer to this because I would have to hear your particular problem and then pull cards for it. But essentially, in some cases, it's not about saying no and then you're being resistant. Sometimes saying no is the right answer because you're being given somebody hostile and you're saying back to it, no, I don't want this hostile situation in my life. I don't deserve that. You know what I mean? So keep in mind, it's not just a simple yes or no. It's just simply being aware that there is a positive moment of all this good fortune coming your way, making your dreams come true, whatever that may be. But this week, as you work towards it, there's going to be certain actions that pop up that you want to work with to make it happen. You don't want to be passive, but also be aware of how you interact with it is a sort of just as important as your inner monologue. You know, when people say affirmations in order to attract good things into their life. That being said, the major thing that you want to focus on this week in order to make your way through these events that pop up is with Rose Quartz. Lots of self-love this week. I definitely highly recommend getting some Epsom salt. It's so great to put into like a bath. It's amazing. You'll feel it immediately. I'm sorry, I do not understand people who do bath bombs. Good for you. I'm so happy you found something that relaxes you, but Epsom salt that you get for mad cheap off of like Amazon or something like that genuinely affects your muscles and you'll feel it immediately within like 10 or 20 minutes of enjoying that, something soothing like that. Do whatever you need to do to feel relaxed and say to yourself like, how can I love myself more this week? Because this is going to be the thing that, helps you be in that type of mindset to say, does this action that I'm taking say to myself that I love myself enough and build up that positive sort of mentality that you deserve more. You're going to receive more. You're worth more. You know what I'm saying? It's a really great thing to have. Now over here, let's get into specifics. So with the Ace of Pentacles popping up, it looks like some sort of opportunities coming your way. This could be anything from a straight up job offer to an opportunity to get closer to that job offer. Whatever it is, there is some sort of financial opportunity coming your way that you want to jump on, and then you're going to make a decision and interact with it in order to get closer to your dreams, because it's related to your dreams. I do want to point this out. Spirit's telling me that for many of you, it is not going to blatantly seem like it has anything to do with your career, but it in fact does. It's almost like, I'm trying to give an example. Okay, so let's say you want to, in the long term, be a chef, right? And then out of nowhere, you're given an opportunity by your elderly neighbor who needs help mowing their lawn. And they're like, can you please mow my lawn? I'll give you like $20, please. And you're like, I don't want to mow their lawn. What does this have to do with being a chef? Well, apparently it does. The universe works in mysterious ways. Take advantage of this opportunity. Now, let's get into some of these, how do I say this? Like bumps along the way, things that are going to appear as obstacles or things that you're kind of being challenged to then reinforce, say to yourself, what do I really want? How do I want to be treated? When I respond to this, kind of like we talked about before, does this imply that I'm worthy, or am I allowing myself to get beat up and mistreated and therefore saying I deserve this, and so therefore I don't deserve my dream? You see what I'm saying? So first little hint and clue we have over here is Temperance in reverse. This is when specifically two different things are trying to be forced together and they're not meant to be forced together. It is this super really unique, weird, ominous clue I'm getting. I'm usually able to be really specific and say how that pops up, but somehow something's going to pop up with this financial opportunity where two things are being forced together that don't work. Keep in mind, this could be you and this other person. This could be them trying to ask a lot of you, like your time, and trying to force even more out of you opportunity-wise. Whatever it is, it's just if you feel that sense of like collision and it doesn't seem to like mash together, that's your clue. It doesn't work together. We get a huge hint with that with the Emperor. This is a card that pops up basically asking yourself this week as you move forward towards your goal, it's important to ask yourself about stability in the long run in order to keep being able to be in the right mindset to attract dreams. Stability can come through self-love, and it can come through saying, is the things that I'm being asked to force together, things to work, really going to give me the soundest structure in order to build my dreams upon? And if it doesn't, get it out of there. That's the main name of the game here, is you're just saying, how can I this week build something that's going to positively affect me in the long run? And you just want to kind of, every time you encounter something this week, and go, is this going to benefit me? Is this something I want to build my belief system into? And I'm talking about how you're being treated by the people closely around you. I'm talking about when you say to yourself, do I want to be someone that has to work all the time? Like, that's what I'm telling the universe. I need to work all the time, and this is the only way I will achieve my dream, if I'm constantly working. Or you get what I'm saying. I'm trying to prevent myself from accidentally rambling too much. But I do want to put a warning out there when we have the Emperor and we have the Six of Wands and the Temperance around it. I just get this feeling that there is a male specifically that seems like they are giving you this financial opportunity, which is good, and you should take advantage of it because you're kind of getting both money, but you're also, and getting closer to your dreams, but you're also kind of almost being somewhat tested by the universe in order to build this stability and figure out what you want and don't want. But they seem to be the main culprit that's like putting you in a sort of position, and they are your like red flag, your warning of how you interact with them. It doesn't mean you avoid them. you answer, you face back, no, I will not be treated this way. No, I will not take this opportunity you give to me. No, I am worth more, that kind of thing. But they are the main culprit. There is definitely a vibe of feeling that they are above you. And this is a friendly reminder that there is absolutely no hierarchy. There is none. Do not listen to anybody who says a boss is worth more than you, somebody that's older is worth more than you. Everybody has something valuable to offer, and they seem very insecure, like they want to put this complex upon you because they're afraid of their own hierarchy. They want to come across as strong, and they can only feel strong if they put someone else down. So keep that in mind. Don't take it personally. Just be like, oh, is this how you feel better? Okay, well, I will not be a part of making you feel better. Bye. You know what I'm saying? And then we have this over here. So the Nine of Pentacles kind of pops up when we're in a mindset of thinking that, we don't see our full dream yet. So we start to build up the mentality of maybe it's not there, but this is a healthy hint that it is almost there. You're getting closer to your dreams than you're aware of. And we also talked about this week being not the week that all your dreams come true. It's just you're in the progress of making your dreams come true. But it's being aware that if you start to feed too much into that, like, oh, I can't see it, where is it, I don't know, then, well, that can get reflected back to you. Don't get caught up in that. Don't let that fear-based mindset cause you to think you have to listen to this person and you have to force two things together and you have to question and make compromises for the long term of your stability. And we're talking about stability and foundation when it comes to like belief systems and how you want to be treated and stuff like that. Either way, we're getting the confirmation. Also, this does pop up when people when you feel like you're not getting what you're owed, or you're feeling like you're being forced out of fear to feel more codependent on people. It looks like somebody is going to try to take advantage of that. Don't let them. But the Hangman in reverse basically is kind of the implication that it's like, now's the time. It doesn't matter if you feel ready or not. It doesn't matter what mindset you're in. Now's the time. You're kind of being forced into the universe to have this encounter, to take financial opportunities, to move towards your dreams. This is a friendly reminder that you do not, especially when the Hangman in reverse pops up, you do not have to be your most perfect self to receive your most perfect dream. But there are times when sometimes things are just not going to work out because, the universe is waiting to catch up to you or things are waiting to sync up. In this case, nope, it's moving forward and you're being forced forward. So don't be surprised if you're put in positions where you couldn't avoid these opportunities and these interactions if you wanted to. You are being forced to move forward, which is a good thing. You want to progress closer to your dream. And then finally is the Six of Wands in reverse. In this particular case, it talks about, with the Temperance card and being around the Emperor, you being put in a position where you feel like you want to backpedal away from this decision they're making for you. And it's interesting, I'm not getting a confirmation of if that's what you should do, if this is more of a feeling. This is going to kind of really be more up in the air, especially with this being a general reading. You're going to make these decisions in the moment. But overall, it sounds like you're getting some sort of opportunity. You're being tested to build up more self-love and understand you need to work towards your dreams and have a more it's already coming to me mindset kind of thing. But this person is going to be putting you in a position where you're going to want to back away. And that might be the correct decision. Or you might say, listen, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way. You're not going to put me in a position to feel like I'm going to backpedal. I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to be my own emperor for my own life. Whatever it is, I am rooting for you and I know you're going to kill it and do really good. But these are all things to consider. And keep in mind, it's going to be fine in the end with this thing. Often these situations pop up to deeply and positively enforce things that are going to, in the long term, bring us a lot of success. So that's going to be your kind of name of the game this week. So don't forget to give yourself a lot of self-love. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4. Let's look at your weekly forecast by looking at the cards. We've got Movement Oracle card upright, Aqua Aura quartz. I've actually never seen this crystal in person. If any of you guys own this, please let me know. Please let me know. I want to know. I wish I could see it. I wish I could see a picture of it. 3 of Wands in reverse. 4 of Swords in reverse. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Judgment upright. The Emperor upright. And King of Cups in reverse. Oh. I don't know how to put this any other way, but you're going to just be vibing this week. Vibing. People are going to try to mess with your vibe, and you're going to be like, nope, I'm vibing too hard. I don't know how to put it any other way. You'll see what I mean in a second. So let's get into this. So first off, movement. This essentially is about getting out there and moving in order to connect to that sort of energy that anything's possible. You're always in transition. This is about going on an adventure. This is about physically moving. I don't know if you're aware, there's like a whole trend going on right now with roller skating. I actually have a pair and I've been roller skating. This is a great example of it, of moving energy. But the main concept this week is about getting out and about. This also does talk about the idea of just general positive change that you actively make. So if you want to dye your hair this week, go for it. This is the week to dye and cut your hair. If you want to pick up a new hobby and try something different and it happens to involve sitting, like maybe you want to get into, collaging, go for it. This is your week. But it's about trying new things and pushing yourself in a new environment, new perspective through this sense of active change. But I'm heavily picking up, it's about physical movement to a new area, running, something like that. Now, this is what I mean when I talk about like the vibing and everything like that. So you're going to be moving around, connecting to this sort of energy, and active. And keep in mind, when I say going on an adventure and things like that, this is not going to be something that falls in your lap. All of these things are going to be chosen by you. You're going to make your week happen, if that makes sense. But over here with the Aqua Aura Quartz, this is about truly connecting with and fathoming the idea of like unlimited consciousness and really connecting to the idea of the universe and feeling this like renewed sense of purpose and excitement for what's possible. And it's like when you're talking about something with someone, and if you're really spiritual, being like, we're all one, or suddenly having a spiritual epiphany that makes you feel closer to people, or make you feel like existential, or feel like you're almost going to leave your body because you're just realizing this is all like a simulation type of vibe. Either way, it's this sense of exploration that, like concept wise, that gets you really excited about your place in the world and what you want to do. So like I said, really happy, really vibing. But when I say you're getting connected to this, imagine this image, because this is the image Spirit's playing in my head. You're roller skating. We're going to use this example again. You're roller skating and you're enjoying yourself, and you're talking to another friend who's roller skating, and you start thinking about how the roller skating is like a metaphor for progressing forward. So if you always just don't like an environment, you can physically walk out of the environment and change the progression of your story. And then you're getting excited because you feel like you're more in control of your life and situations around you, maybe a bad person that's been in your life that's been negatively affecting you. And so you're just like happy, you're just excited, you're vibing, you feel like it's a very like youthful vibe with knowledge. So an insight, which I really love for you. But definitely do not be surprised if other people don't get it. That's not going to be really of a concern, but when we have a 3 of Wands in reverse situation, people are not going to necessarily get it, and that's fine. You want to kind of amp yourself up this week and be like, well, I get it. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. It doesn't mean anyone's going to ostracize you for it, but don't let it harsh your vibe if people are like, no, I don't know what you mean. What are you saying? I don't get it. You know what I mean? I gotta stop saying, you know what I mean? I'm getting too excited and losing track of my words. So don't be surprised. Just keep amping yourself up and fostering this excitement and sense of movement and exploration internally in you. You don't need to get that confirmation from other people quite yet. It's not important right now. The other thing that's important to acknowledge is you need rest. While you're gaining all of this insight and you're moving around a lot, naps, sleeping more, this is like your core goal throughout the week, because you're going to be processing and experiencing so much energy wise. It's going to kind of take a bit of a toll on your body. Nothing bad or drastic, obviously. This is going to help replenish you essentially. And you're going to have the time, because in some cases, I don't really feel it this heavy. This feels more like people just don't get it. But in some cases, the Three of Wands in reverse does talk about people not returning your messages to like hang out because something got interrupted, whether it be like through technology, or maybe they looked at your message, but before they could respond, they got distracted. So it was like a chain of events that prevented them from responding. Doesn't matter. We don't need them. You're having a good time this week. It's just a comfort to know that if they're not responding, this is not forever. It's kind of like a meant to be type of situation when we have the universe trying to give you the opportunity to get more rest and have more time to think of these thoughts. Now, I do want to put this out there with the Four of Swords in reverse. This is a bit of I joke about this, but this is a bit of a universe threat. Like a loving, like your spirit guides being like, you better rest or else. And I say that as a complete joke, but I find this card pops up when you're not getting enough sleep or whatever, and taking good enough care of yourself in this kind of way. And then suddenly you get sick, and when I say sick, I'm referring to like a cold, or you can't hang out because now you need to rest another time period. And then this pops up at like the worst impromptu time when you're, you wanted to go out with friends now, and now you don't feel well and you have to hang out at home. So this is saying while you're having fun, make sure you're getting plenty of sleep so you can keep up with it, or else. Four of Pentacles is really fun because it talks about you opening up and having a good time. But definitely, this is like your sort of mantra for the week. When the Four of Swords pops up and this type of person is becoming more open to different possibilities and ideas, and allowing and realizing they're no longer lacking in resources or energy or whatever, and they can truly put themselves out in the world. I find this is coming from somebody who was lacking, and so as they're making the effort to be more open, it's a bit of a sarcastic tone to it. It's like, you know what? Fine, you know what? Fine, let's just go do it. You know what? You're right. Let's just go do it. And so it's not something that comes effervescently. It's a little bit like forcing yourself, but in this particular case, with all the other good vibes we're picking up, this is going to be very loving. But do not be surprised if you have to kind of push yourself to be in movement, push yourself to try out these beliefs, push yourself to sleep. You're going to be open, but you don't have to criticize yourself or have any sort of negative response if your sense of openness doesn't have a sort of fairy tale ethereal vibe to it of like, yes, I'm just so open and balanced. Not everybody opens up that kind of way, and that's okay. That's you, and this is a good thing. I consider this a very fun, loving, aggressive, in a good way, aggressive openness, which I love that vibe. So while you're, having a good time and you're becoming more open and you're out and about experiencing the world and you're enjoying yourself and you're taking care of yourself and all that jazz, it seems like someone is going to try to mess with this. Now, it doesn't mean anything. They don't have it out personally for you. I think they just kind of can pick up on your sense of transition, and they really want that sense of transition out of their bad emotional state. And so they're trying to hook on to you in order to experience some of that. And there's nothing wrong with, helping other people and helping them feel better, but because they're so twisted emotionally, they're going to more bring you down and harsher vibe rather than being like, hey, can I tag along? I'm not feeling great. You seem like you're really happy. I want to feel happy by being around you. This is not the person you want to have around you. They're kind of almost, the universe is basically like saying they're testing you in order to reinforce this new mindset you have. I do want you to keep in mind, the universe does not put things in your way to mess with you. No, never, not at all. It's kind of like saying to the universe, hey, I'd really like to experience this thing. I want to be somebody who believes more in possibility and is more connected and more insightful. And I want to be really strong in that mindset. And so they give you an opportunity to be strong. And this is not even going to be like a big deal, keep in mind. But with the King of Cups in reverse, this is somebody who's going to come across as very codependent, very jealous, kind of emotionally cruel. They definitely are going to try to say things and hit below the belt emotionally. And they're going to have a sort of heavy vibe around them. And you're going to identify them immediately. And guess what? When we have the Emperor card upright, you are going to be unfazed, unmoved. It is not going to even bother you. The Emperor card is another positive sign that this is the week that you're making these huge positive changes in a really fun, silly, lighthearted way that might not seem really serious, that are going to be building up the foundation for the long-term success you're going to have in life and enjoyment in life. And when we have like a really solid foundation, then we can build all of our dreams upon that. And so because you're kind of so solidified in being more open, so solidified in taking care of yourself, being solidified that you're not bothered, that you know what you know and other people will catch up, and you're having fun and moving around and experiencing new adventures and being open and all that jazz, when they pop up, you're kind of like this unmovable castle and they are not entering your kingdom. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, nope. Sorry, I see you're going through that. No, thank you. And remember, they're water, right? And you're kind of like an earthy stone here. And they're going to smash against your castle. They're going to try to move and shape around it, come from the back to the side. But that's the thing. While they might ebb and flow and not even be able to realize how beautiful that is, that they're able to fluidly transition themselves that way, and therefore they could fluidly transition themselves out of this mindset, you are going to be totally Fort Knox, unmovable, fine. And if anything, this is going to be sort of, I don't want to say a self-reflection, because this is not where you're coming from emotionally. It's more that you see why it's so important to keep following this mindset and vibe, and you feel that much more reassured that you're doing the right thing and that you're going in the right way and you'll make the right decisions. This is kind of like building inner trust within yourself, that you'll meet the right people in the long term because you'll know how to identify who you want in your life and who you don't want in your life, and understand that this is the most important and everything else is meant to foster that. So yeah, I'm excited for you and your vibe. Make sure to sleep. This is very important. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, a comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.